We're actually going to be covering some breaking news here in National City. You can see a fire has broken out in a residential neighborhood.
Yeah, we understand it's at a house, and wow, look at the flames that are coming from this fire. Perhaps it could be there in the backyard. Does that look like a possibility with the street on the left side, street on the right side, and it looks like much of this fire is, as far as flames that we can see, is in the backyard, but obviously flames also coming from inside that house as well, and a ton of smoke. Kathleen, that really seems to be billowing out of the home, so both in the backyard and inside the house as well.
This is on Scott Drive, and you can actually see on the street in that particular neighborhood, there's at least 5 units, or what you want to say, engines that have reported from the fire department and addressing this. And it looks like there are flames that might be catching a second building, but it's hard to tell because, as you said, the backyard, as it appears, looks fully engulfed. But you can see that a lot of these residential backyards appear to have patios and tents and outcroppings and different things. So the flying embers and how closely you could say adjacent they are to each other, that this is going to be a challenge. And you can see there is certainly very active flames spreading rather quickly. So there must be a lot of flammable material in that area.
Yeah, sometimes, you know, when people have a lot of different kinds of items in a backyard, that can potentially happen and make for a bigger problem. Interestingly, that fence that is a barrier between the house on fire and the one behind it, seems to be holding the fire at bay, essentially, holding it within that property for now. But as you said there, Kathleen, it's coming so strongly and the flames are so strong that certainly there is the fear it could spread. Now you can kind of see it looks like some water coming through from a firefighter's hose on the far side of the smoke and far side of the flames. And it's hard to tell from the perspective of where SkyFOX is where exactly the firefighters are, but it looks like there's some shots coming in from that middle left part of your screen, and obviously finding some success initially in getting some of those massive flames out.
Yeah, white smoke, always a good sign. You can see firefighters actually trying to cut through some ventilation on the roof. That's another way to get some of the heat out of a building. They're tackling it from all sides. It appears, one would venture to guess, that all these homes have been evacuated, or at least they're in the process of, because that is really close to several homes in that area. You can see patio furniture set up nicely in one backyard, and just how close they are to one another. You can see that there are active flames still in that one yard, burning through the fence, it looks like, to another. But we aren't really seeing many looky-loos or people standing outside. And this almost looks like this row of houses in front of these yards. Some of them might actually be duplexes or even apartment buildings. It's a little hard to tell, but there you go again, active water being sprayed across these flames to try and subdue them. Yeah,
as SkyFOX pulls out, you can kind of see middle part of your screen now, middle bottom part. There are some people out there on the sidewalk. So to your point, Kathleen, they're very likely evacuated from their homes, knowing the risk of this fire potentially spreading in the way of embers or those strong flames. And so it looks like, yeah, there's some police action on that right street. And so they're probably going door to door and letting folks know to get out of their homes to keep them safe. And the firefighters there on the ground working hard and in quick fashion to try to get control of this fire. And as you said, Kathleen, they make those holes in the roof to try to allocate, I guess, all of the flames and the smoke to kind of go out that one direction so they can then go in and be safer as they attack the flames from the ground. So SkyFOX flying over the scene. Again, this is a National City, Scott Drive, near Delta Street. If you're just joining us now, a massive home fire and backyard fire that firefighters are trying to get a handle on.
And you can also see there is a police presence as well, blocking off the streets to make sure the emergency vehicles have access, and also trying to keep people at bay for their own safety as well. So this is a full court press from the folks down in National City trying to put out this fire, and we're seeing much more white smoke and fewer flames. So that is good as they continue to get water on this situation. We obviously don't know the cause of the fire that is broken out on Scott Drive near Delta Street, where Andrew just mentioned, but there are several firefighters on the ground with hoses. Access to water does not seem to be an issue. It's nice that the winds have calmed down. I know our Megan Healy and Brad Wills have been reporting the last couple of days days that winds have been a factor with some of the storms coming in and out of San Diego County. So at least Mother Nature is certainly working on their side today.
It'll be interesting to see once some of the smoke clears and firefighters make some progress, what exactly is burning in that backyard, because you talk about flammability, and they put a ton of water on this in just the last couple of minutes, and it seems like the flames keep coming right back up in the middle part of your screen. So even though they have appeared to make progress, then right back it comes. The SkyFOX pushes in and catches fire again to see some pretty big flames. So
which always raises questions about what the materials are in the yard and how flammable they might be, because they're certainly stubborn, those flames, and so that also changes how they go about battling this fire. They might be putting some kind of retardant on it at some point if water isn't working. Say you have tires in the backyard that are old or something of that nature, and that's just going to continue to burn. Even
in a vehicle in some cases, maybe there's fuel that's adding to it. Let's bring in Megan real quick and talk about the conditions out there as far as the wind goes, because obviously the smoke is blowing throughout that community, but there's always the fear of embers as well. So you can get a little bit of a clearer picture here, Megan, of what the firefighters are doing.
Yeah, so right now winds are relatively calm. We're tracking some winds out of the north 5 miles per hour. We had some stronger offshore winds earlier this morning. They're now going to be expected to turn onshore, so coming out from the west in the later evening hours. Temperatures a little bit warmer today in terms of that, but still below average right now in National City, 65 degrees. Humidity is not great, but it's not terrible. 45% right now with dew point temperatures at 43, so it's not extremely dry, but there's also not a lot of moisture. We did just get that Pacific storm moving through the area, doused some areas in the South Bay over the last 24 hours. But again, the rainfall that we saw with this most recent storm system really didn't do much in terms of alleviating drought conditions here in Southern California. As we get into the evening hours tonight, temperatures will drop, so that's good news there, not to fuel the fire, and northwest winds expected 5 to 10 miles per hour, becoming northeast and a little bit more calmer in the late evening hours tonight.
All right, Megan, thank you so much. And looking at all that smoke, Andrew, certainly there's going to be some smoke damage for even some of the neighbors, because this has been a lot of smoke and large plumes of it. So if you're out in any area of the South Bay and you see some smoke on the horizon, this is most likely the source, this residential fire on Scott Drive near Delta Street.
And you can see those firefighters in the neighbor's yard as well, checking things out. At this point, it still appears to be mostly contained flame-wise to that one property. Firefighters trying to make some progress and put out those very stubborn flames on this fire in National City. We'll keep an eye on what's going on there. SkyFOX is over the scene. We'll take a quick break here on the Fox 5 News at 5, and we'll be right back.